is such a pleasure to introduce John Landy, this year's recipient of the ABA Section of Dispute Resolutions Award for Outstanding Scholarly Work. As many of you know, John goes above and beyond in everything that he does. John is so detail-oriented. He is a planner. He's hardworking, innovative, caring, collaborative, intelligent, handsome. I'm sorry, John. John, I'm having a hard time reading your writing. No, John is all those things, and he has a terrific laugh, and I was glad I got to hear it there. I wasn't sure I was going to get that laugh. But to me and to so many, he's been a mentor, someone who gives advice and support. He's a professor emeritus at the University of Missouri, a former director of the LLM program there in dispute resolution. That's how I got to know him. He may be the most prolific retiree in ADR scholarly history. We are here to celebrate John's contributions to scholarship, and John has won many awards for his scholarship over the years. The International Institute for Conflict Prevention and Resolution gave him its award for Best Professional Article for Principles for Policy Making about Collaborative Law and Other ADR Processes. That was in the Ohio State Journal. An honorable mention for using dispute system design methods to promote good faith participation in court-connected mediation programs. That was in UCLA Law Review. He's the inaugural winner of the Maginot Dispute Resolution Advancement Award from St. John's Law School. The award is for his article, A Framework for Advancing Negotiation Theory, Implications from a Study of How Lawyers Reach Agreement in Pretrial Litigation. So this is really a continuation of a long line of recognition. But the thing that John cares about isn't really awards. John wants to make an impact. And you may not know this, but John wants you to read his articles. He wants you to read his books. And if you didn't know it, he's a very active contributor to Indisputably. He wants impact. And his scholarship is rooted in two intersecting threads, and the two inform one another. He began his career as a practitioner. After graduating from the now-named UC Law San Francisco, John eventually developed his own practice where he tried cases, arbitrated, mediated, and he served as the chair and member of the board of the Northern California Council for Mediation. After a stop at Nova Southeastern, John was assistant professor and director of the mediation program at Arkansas Little Rock before he found a home at Missouri. And like many of us who go into this field, John comes from practice. And he spends a lot of time studying and examining what happens in practice. The second intersecting thread is that John earned his PhD from the University of Wisconsin, where his advisor was Mark Galanter. Mark Galanter is what I consider an early, and it's not just me who considers this, he's an early ADR pioneer. You may have heard of the phenomenon of the theory of the vanishing trial. John comes from a law and society tradition of empiricism. So he doesn't simply write about what he thinks is happening. He values the empirical data that tells us what is occurring. That's a powerful and meaningful connection. And I believe it's the future of our field. In 114 publications and counting, John writes about dispute resolution systems, legal education, lawyering, and mediation theory and practice. And let me share a few more titles with you. Reforming legal education to prepare law students optimally for real-world practice. Teaching students to negotiate like a lawyer. Real mediation systems to help parties and mediators achieve their goals. Why and how businesses use planned early dispute resolution. This next one is going to be published this year. How can courts, practically for free, help parties prepare for mediation sessions? And of course, his book, Through the ABA, Lawyering with Planned Early Negotiation. How you can get good results for clients and make money. These are grounded in practice. And they blend theory and practice with a purpose of helping to make a difference. And they're designed to make us think and to impact both the institutions of dispute resolution and the practitioners and academicians alike. So, you will not agree with everything John writes, and John's okay with that. In fact, he loves to talk to people who have different opinions. And in celebration of John receiving this award, I have a request that I want to ask of you. Go to Indisputable. Google John Landy in Missouri. Go to his website. Read his articles. Utilize his concepts to improve how disputes are processed, thought about, handled. For John and for all of us, that's the greatest compliment we can receive. John, thank you for being a mentor to so many of us. Thank you for your advice. I always ask for it. I always value it. Someday maybe I'll learn and be able to follow it. You may know John Landy as the guy who wiggles his hips to get us to smile and laugh for photos. Today this confirms what we already knew, that John is one of our all-time great scholars. It is my pleasure to introduce our 2024 recipient of the ABA Section of Dispute Resolution's Award for Outstanding Scholarly Work, John Landy.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you to Brian for such a wonderful introduction. If you want to, okay, all right. If you want to know if you're really getting old, have a former student who's a law school dean. Then you know. It's really gratifying to get this award, especially from this crowd. I've known many of you for a very long time. A very long time. Our community has been my professional home for almost 30 years, starting when I was doing time in Florida. And, I met people like Sharon Press and Jim Alfini and Gene Sternlight, and was going to spider conferences. And and I have the evidence to prove that this has been my home for a while. You may have seen some of that. One of the best things for me about getting this award is to reconnect with so many friends, and it's just been so touching to get all the emails and all the congratulations at the conference, and I really, really appreciate that. And it's been a fascinating journey for me for a half a century. I started as an undergraduate. My first interest was as an undergraduate taking a sociology of law class in 1972, so it's been more than a half a century that stimulated my interest, and you can read more about it on my blog post. I've been warned that I should speak more briefly than in my blog post. So it's there, it's there. And as Brian was saying, my main motivation has always been to help people better handle conflict in a variety of ways. The timing of this award is very fortuitous, as you may have noticed. I recently published a bibliography of what I'm calling the Real Practice Systems Project, which is a mosaic of my publications, including a number of short blog posts. Really doesn't take very long to read them, as well as law review articles and books. And it shows the evolution of my thinking. It was really a wonderful experience for me to put it together, as Brian points out, I want you to read the damn things. And it's easy to organize, it's organized in a way that it's easy to find the material. And it describes problems with traditional ADR theory and suggests an alternative that I hope will help scholars and teachers and practitioners and students. And I hope this award will intrigue you to check it out and see if it can help you in your work. It's certainly flattering to join the list of past honorees who received this award and to be following in their footsteps. Many of them are here today. There are many others, many others, many in this room who deserve recognition for your scholarship and other good works in the field. It must be a daunting task to give awards like this, and many people deserve it, and I appreciate getting it, and I appreciate being part of this community. And part of it is that, scholarship is a collaborative activity. I mean, if there's just one scholar, it's like one hand clapping. We need each other. And so, I've been able to be fortunate to learn from the work of many of you. And we build on each other's work. And so I've seen people incorporate my work in their work, and then I incorporate your work in my work, and it's a circle. And it's been a wonderful experience. And I have lots of people to thank and acknowledge for my career. Some are listed in the blog post. Some are some are here now. Many are not. Many not specifically included, even in the blog post, who I could thank, but I'm not going to take the time except for two. I want to acknowledge my #1 booster, who is not my wife, which is Il-Young Lee, the director of our Center for the Study of Dispute Resolution. And he nominated me along with a number of others here, and is very excited about it, very interested. After he submitted the nomination, the next day he said, "Have you heard yet?" And periodically he would be asking about it, and he's probably more excited about this thing than I am. He's just very pleased and proud. So he's the first one I wanted to acknowledge, and the other one is my real #1 booster, who is my wife, which is Ann Harrell, who is here with us, and many of you know her, and she's put up with me for all these years. And she's had the experience of having me say, "Well, I'm just going to write this one next article, and that's it. I swear, this is the last one." And she rolls her eyes, and I'm amazed that she can see anymore. So, I just have two favors to ask in closing. The first one is, if in the next month or two, if you would check out my bibliography, if there's any of it that would help you in your work. So if you would be willing to do that in the next month or two, to take a look at that, would you nod your head and say, "Yeah, come on." I want to see all those heads.
We're not going to eat until you nod.
The other one is to have you learn and practice my patented picture-taking process to produce the appearance of merriment. I'm not going to be around forever, and this is just a really important thing that I want to pass along to all of you and to the generations. And so, if you are willing and able, would you now stand and put your chairs back a little bit? And when I say go, I want you to when I say go, I would like you to please try and make me smile. Now, probably many of you are familiar with my patented technique And I would encourage you to use it. And if you're not familiar with it, you can kind of look around and see others. And if you want to try something else, feel free. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
Do we get a demonstration?
A demonstration.
All right. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and your goal is to try and make me smile if you can. So, and we're making a video, as you probably can see, which will be posted, and it will be a training video to try and keep this tradition alive. So, one, ready, set, go.